Hello there, today I'm going to be taking a look at the new LEGO set that dropped on January 1st, the ARC-170 Star Wars LEGO set. This set is 497 pieces and retails for $69.99 USD. Before I get started, thanks so much to the LEGO group for sending this set over to me for review. As always, all thoughts and opinions are my own. Alrighty, so it's been 15 years since LEGO Star Wars has seen this ship in particular, the ARC-170 Starfighter. It appears to have been a little bit scaled down from the previous versions, which has a few people up in arms, but full disclosure to those of you who don't know, I just got into LEGO a little under 3 years ago, so I don't have a lot of nostalgia associated with LEGO Star Wars of 20 years ago, or I guess 25 years ago, because it came out 25 years ago. 26 years at this point. So just something to keep in mind as I review this set, which I think it looks really cool. It makes for a really great display piece. Right now I have it sitting on an acrylic display stand from Tricked Out Bricks. That's where most of my ship stands are from. No affiliation, I just like their ship stands. I buy them a lot. This LEGO set does come with 4 minifigures. Let's talk through them. We have Clone Pilot Oddball, Clone Pilot Jag, and then I guess just a generic Clone Pilot. They all have the same torso and legs, it looks like, the same faces underneath, with the visor over the eyes. I think that looks really great, actually. And their helmets look really pretty. This set also comes with a droid. This is R4P44, and just a little green astromech. No back printing as is per usual, unless you're R2-D2 and that one chopper minifigure. So the set itself, first impressions, again with a disclaimer from earlier that I have not owned a previous ARC-170 Starfighter before. I think this looks really cool. It's got a very high swooshability factor, and I can imagine really enjoying playing this if I were a kid. It was so easy to put together, and it's got this, wing flapping mechanism that you can activate by pushing this bar on the bottom side. The look of this ship kind of reminds me of World War II planes, and I did Google this to check the styles because I am no World War II expert or fanatic or anything like that. It reminds me a little bit of like the Corsair, with how these ends are like chunky rounded at the end instead of sharp, or like the B-24 heavy bombers, the nose of the front side. Yeah, that's kind of like what I thought of when I saw this ship. All that being said, this wasn't a ship that I was particularly really excited to get from the January 1st wave. Maybe, like I said, due to not having that nostalgia of growing up with LEGO Star Wars. I think this is a really cool ship on screen. This one particularly is from Revenge of the Sith, but it also shows up in Clone Wars. It does look great. It's a little reminiscent to me of the X-Wing, which I believe canonically the X-Wing was inspired by the ARC-170 design. But this isn't really something that I cared so much about having on my shelves, and personally not something that I would have gone out and purchased myself. Diving into the ship itself, this ARC-170 has 3 cockpits, just like the previous versions, and I think it's an important detail to make sure you get right on this ship. There's also room between the second and third cockpits for the droid. Again, stellar design that stays true to the model there. I love the look on the wings on this, and these 4 sort of outer wings that hug the inside wing are adjustable, like I showed you, for attack and cruise modes. At the end of them, there are 2 spring-loaded shooters, but worth noting, this cannon or turret or gun at the end of them on the front side is not as long as it's supposed to be. I think they're supposed to be almost as long as the nose, if not as long as the nose. And I believe the previous iterations did have these longer so that they reached outward more, so not sure why they shorted us here. There's also these turrets or cannons on the back side, in front of and underneath the back cockpit window, so you can move these around. It's pretty cool. I like the pink on the engines, again because I like the pink on the X-Wings, and this is the ancestor of the X-Wing, so to speak. One of my favorite things about this build was that it did not use rubber bands for this flapping motion. So the last time I used rubber bands on a ship was when I built the Playscale X-Wing from a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago at this point. It's so unnecessary, especially since the X-Wing that came in the Rebuild the Galaxy set also didn't use rubber bands, and it functions just fine. So I'm glad that they're figuring out another way to do this without having to use rubber bands. Onto these sticker designs on this ship. There's a sticker up here for this gray part. I think it blends in pretty well. These Republic logos over here are stickers also. They look fine. There's some here on the wing in gray, light gray, and I think that's supposed to be white. There's sticker details on the sides of the cockpit and then on the back cockpit. I don't think I'm ever going to say that I like like stickers, but for the most part, they never really bother me. They really don't. So one of the most annoying things on the planet to me, at least to do with Lego, is having to put large clear stickers on a canopy, one of these windscreens. And this Lego set makes you do it 3 times. I mean, I did my best, but they don't necessarily line up. Oh my God, like this bad one, this is a horrendous job. This back one, definitely crooked, and there's like a bubble right there at the end, and there's even something like a piece of dust under it. I hate that. I feel like we can get printed canopy parts because we've had them. I also feel like if this is a part that's supposed to be white, like this section, it just doesn't match up. It looks more like bluish gray at this point. Now for some of the non-printed parts, actually I think there's only 3 or 4. These circles here at the end of the top wing on both sides are printed. I'm curious why they printed those and not like the Republic logo. I just like some things are never gonna make sense when things are repetitive like that. Like the Republic logo on a 2x2 tile, I think that would be very efficient. One of the cockpits has a little printed sloped computer. One of the other cockpits has a sloped dashboard as well. The guy in the back does not get a dashboard. He just gets guns, I guess. And then here's a look at the underside of the ship. I don't know, some people like to see that sometimes. There's this big kind of flat area that allows me to easily place it on this acrylic display stand that I showed you guys earlier. So that's it. That's the new ARC-170. Like I said, some of the complaints I have heard are that it was downscaled. I think these wings are typically longer. There's this cannon thing that I pointed out, or the gun in the front of these wings that should be longer as well. The Clone Pilot figgies are great figures. Yeah, I mean, I went to the Lego store on release day, and I believe this is one of the ones that was sold out. This one and Ahsoka Starfighter, like they just couldn't keep them in stock. Actually, I went on the 2nd, so the day after release day. So the day of release day, they were out of stock, they said, and then even the day after, they're like, yeah, they just keep flying off the shelves. So even though this is a Lego set that I would say it was a little overpriced at price per parts, people are buying them. Would I recommend this Lego set? Personally, I just would not have gone out to buy this because, I don't know, I have no attachment to the characters. I have no attachment to the ship. I personally just think this looks more like a $50 Lego set than $70, but this does make for an excellent toy for the kids. Like I said, I can see if I was a kid having so much fun like flying this around. And I do think it displays very nicely on the stand, so I'm curious to know what you guys think about this Lego set. Let me know in the comments below. Alrighty, if you've made it this far, please hit that thumbs up button. I would greatly appreciate it. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you here. Okay, bye!